Hi, and welcome to Being Power Woman, the talk show. I'm your host, Nancy Rivera, and I'm so happy that you can join us another Thursday here in this spot. You know that I love when I have women who are, full of energy, that they can do something very different to help women. And that's the case of our special guest. She is a energy healing. Her name is More. More, how are you? And welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am so happy that we can actually have this chance to talk, and especially because we're going to be talking about sexual trauma in women and other things. And I think this is very important because sometimes we do not want to talk about this, and there are a lot of women who are in that process of healing. But before we start with that topic, who are you and what exactly you do?
Okay, so my name is Zamora Yelvington. I'm an energy healer and coach. I help women all around the world overcome relationship anxiety and sexual trauma. I specialize in overcoming depression, insomnia, low libido. Most women that come to me for a body pain or anxiety, and 99.9% of the time it's related to sexual trauma. We're just not aware that our body reacts, right? We go through a trauma, our body is showing us by pain in the body. We're not aware that it's caused by the trauma. And so I help women find the places the body holds the trauma and release it from that place so it heals what they're experiencing in their day-to-day life.
Wow. And it is sad to know that I think all women in some point of our life have experienced something that it has to be with that sexuality part. But what was your motivation? Why did you decided to go through this career and try to help women through the energy healing?
So, as a child, my mother was a healer. She is still a healer. So I always grew up in the mindset of spirituality and healing and angels. But I myself experienced really um, hard trauma when I was a kid, and then also as a teenager. I went through some, bad relationship, abusive relationships. And I was going to counseling, even when I was little. I lost my dad when I was 9 years old. And so my mom put me in counseling. But it seemed like no matter how many years of counseling I did and therapy, none of that really helped until I actually started doing energy healing and realizing that that's something that a lot of people aren't even aware of. And what happens is, it's like if you don't heal the trauma in the body, you can talk about it as much as you want. And I have a lot of people that are like, oh, I talked about this, but if you don't really heal it from the inside, it doesn't go away. And it's only when I started really healing those parts of me that it really started shifting and changing and really empowered me to do what I'm doing today because I wanted to give that to the world. And every time I work with a client or I do a class or a workshop, the transformation that women go through is so miraculous that I'm just so speechless. And I'm always like, how do I reach all the women, right? I feel like you said, almost every woman has experienced some sort of trauma, some sort of abuse,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of push it down and we don't deal with it. And as women, we're these superpowers. We do a million things at once. We never stop to think like, I need to deal with this. We only start to do that when we suddenly aren't sleeping because our head is like, shh, 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 or we are, having migraines or we're having back pain. And a lot of times we take the easy way out. You take a pill, you go to sleep, you drink some water, you ignore it. Ignoring it is key for women. We're so good at just
Mm-hmm.
pushing it down, down, down and ignoring it. But the minute you stop and you're like, I'm done with this, I want to change my life, I'm not ready to deal with this anymore, and really look at it, you can heal and change it. And it's like magical.
It is, it is. And I want to add because, for example, in the Latina community, women are teach that we have to think about everyone, the kids, the house, the husband, the mom, the cousin, the dog, the chicken, everything before ourselves. And I had the opportunity to also interview a Colombian woman, and she she had this she has this amazing story. And one of her problems was actually that she was trying to help other people heal, but she did not go through that process of healing. Because, like I said, for Latina women, we actually think that that's selfish, that we cannot like put ourselves first. And for my surprise, when I started this program, um, I had I had I discovered that it's not only the Latina women, it's just women.
Yep.
The women have to think about everyone else and then of ourselves. That's the reason why we're the last one to go to the doctor. If we got some headache, we just get some pills or some oils or something and try to heal ourselves. And if something happened, something bad happened to us, we just put that in the bottom of our body and we don't ignore it, we don't care, and we try to continue because everyone needs us. So how do you work with women in this case? Because I know that maybe you have had clients that that's their mindset. I cannot do anything because I have to think of my kids, my husband, I mean everything else.
It's true. And how I see it is like we're in the shift transition. I feel like more and more women are waking up right now and realizing that if they don't take care of themselves, they're not going to take care of their people, right? If you don't take care of yourself, you can't be the mom you want to be. You can't be that wife you want to be, right? You can't be who you want to be. And it
Mm-hmm.
seems like we stand to these high standards of what a mother should do, right? In your society, in your culture, right? I'm Jewish, so in our religion it's the same, right? We're always the taking care of and cooking. And I'm not saying don't do that, but if you take care of yourself first, then you can give from a bigger place. You also won't feel so much regret and heartache. It's because you're putting so much energy on the things that you're not dealing with that is draining you so much. And
Mm-hmm.
when you look about it like that and you're aware of like, wow, that's why I'm so tired because there's all this stuff, energetical stuff over here that is sucking so much energy from me. If I dealt with that, think of how much space and ease you would have,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like just get the sense of that, you know? It gives you so much more space if you actually take the time to deal with it. And I feel like there's a shift right now
Mm-hmm.
in our collective mindset as women, and that's one of the reason I was doing it too, because I feel like as women we hold the reality the way it is, and the minute we stand up and rise above and change it, the
Mm-hmm.
whole reality will change for everyone. Because the minute we don't see ourselves and not as not important, right?
Mm-hmm.
The minute we start seeing how important we are and how powerful we are, then the whole paradigm of like men and women and the whole energetical, I'm not talking about like, feminist, whatever. I'm talking about the energy will change, and we won't accept, it's like there's an energetical accept that because we are women, we should accept being treated a certain way. We should accept, people treating us or abusing us. It's like this kind of like, and a lot of times we blame ourselves for it, right? That's
Yeah.
such a thing, right? You go through abuse and it's your fault. You brought it on yourself because of what you were wearing or what you said or,
Yeah, but also, so see, this, I mean, the way we live and the way that we think is also like a pressure because we're thinking, for example, I mean, someone who has been raped, the first thing they say is that, oh, it because I had some short pants, or because I had too much makeup, or because the way I talk, or the way that I maybe express myself, and we start to um look for the things that we did, and it's not true. I mean, we're not responsible because of that person's decision. So in the sexual trauma, how do you work with women? Because I think that's one of the worst experience for a woman. I work a lot with women who are survivors and are victims of domestic violence, and I know that sometimes those are also traumas they have because the husband thinks that just because we got a paper where it says you're my wife, that means that also in bed I can take you whenever I want. So how do you work with those women?
so when I do energy work, I do, like I said, one-on-one or classes, courses. We The idea is you don't have to relive the trauma. It's kind of hard to explain energy, but the
Mm-hmm.
best way I can explain it is like when somebody says something to you, it can say something to you that feels like a punch in your gut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they said something so hurtful, if you feel it in your stomach, and a lot of times you'll even carry that feeling with you if you haven't resolved it. And even though they didn't physically touch you, just what they said, the energy of that affected you so much. So many times we align and agree to these things, and then we create our life according. And it's the same, right? If somebody said something really bad to you, and then you resist and react to it and create something completely different. And so what I try to do, or what I do with women, is we find those places where you're holding on to that stuff, and we release it energetically with different modalities that I do. And then we clear it to create that space I was talking about, that ease. Because what I want to get to is having total ease. Being in a place where when somebody says something to you, it doesn't shake you, it doesn't move you. It's just like coming in and coming out, right? It doesn't, you don't align and agree, you don't resist and react. You just are like, oh, right? That's your stuff. None of it belongs to me. Return it to return it to sender, you know?
Okay, okay. So how does your service help women? I mean, I know that you work with energy. And before that, I do have another question. Someone who is going to the psychologist or going to a therapist, because they're trying to deal with their trauma, still can have service with you. I mean, have that healing process with you, and how does that work?
Yes, of course. So like I said, I work with women everywhere.
Okay.
Um, I have my practice, so I do some hands-on, but most of our work is actually online like this on Zoom. It's kind of counseling and guided meditate. It's not a meditation, but it's a guided healing process, to really go through your body and see where it feels, you know, heavier, where it feels lighter. You can tell when something is contracted. And so a lot of my clients, you know, they also go to chiropractor. It seems like the people that come to me is like last resort, because a lot of people, you know, aren't aware of energy healing or haven't even heard of it. And so a lot of times people are like, "Ooh, what is this?" You know, and I offer a lot of free, you know, energy healings that people can go online and just do, and they get the sense of what I really do and how it makes them feel.
Okay.
But so many times, like even when we're talking right now, it's enough for me to talk about this stuff for you to start feeling in your body where you're holding on to this stuff, even by me talking about it. And when I just talk about ease and peace, you know it's available, right? You get the energy of what I'm talking is because when I'm talking, I'm doing energy work with you right now. So you can get the sense of that, like, oh, that's a possibility. Where before, maybe you didn't even know it's a possibility,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay, okay. So I know that you have something that you're going to be doing on February. So let's talk about that. How can people get in contact with you so that they can actually have this I think it's a course that you were going to give out?
Yes, I'm going to launch a 6 week course specifically overcoming relationship anxiety, because what I'm noticing, right, when women are searching for help, they're looking for actually what do they want to create in their life, right? And they want to have that loving, fulfilling relationship. They want to have that connection. And so I'm going to do a relationship anxiety course. It's going to be 6 weeks of intensive healings, and then targeting specifically needs come up and what happens and where you're holding on to that trauma and those fears, where we can release it, and really looking at what are you doing to create these relationships in your life, right? Why are you on these patterns? Why are you choosing these specific partners? Okay, and then healing and clearing that from that place. Like, where can we find those target points that are creating this? Because you're an amazing creator. Everything you've created up until this point in your life, you've created for a reason.
Yeah.
So if it's not exactly what you want it to look like, let's make it what you want it to look like. Let's create that life that you want to have, the relationship, the body, the financial situation, right? Let's get into alignments to get all those things that you want to create in your life.
I love that part that you said that we choose our partner and we keep on like repeating the same thing with our partner. And sometimes it even comes back to our, when we were kids, the
Yeah.
things that we are missing. So how can we work with that? Because I know that
That's
that's one of
so
the
true.
major problems in relationship. We are looking for what we don't have.
That is so true, because so much of what we're creating right now is created from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And my like favorite sentence is heal your past, create your future. Because if you are creating from the past, it's never going to shift or change. If you're creating based on your parents' relationship, based on how your parents treated you or didn't treat you, right? Based on what you saw growing up and decided like, I want that or I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating from a place of trauma, not from a place of choice. And so the minute you heal that space, you can ask yourself, what do I really want to create? What do I really want to bring to my life? What are the qualities, the person I want What did they have?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm done with attracting this kind of stuff. And the reason you're attracting it energetically is because when you're in trauma and you are in um, fears and you're operating from that space, the vibration that you're putting out is very low. And vibration attracts to vibration. And so you keep attracting those low vibrational situations, you know, the trauma, the drama, that stuff. And you feel like you're in this cycle and you don't understand why. It's because your body and the, you know, universe is telling you, hey, you know, look at this, you know, it's coming back so you can learn the lesson and move on. And
But
I'm
you keep
saying,
on doing the same thing and you don't learn.
yes, exactly. Don't keep, you know, banging your head against the wall. Stop for a minute and be like, wait, this is not helping me. What can I do that would shift and change this now? Because
And it's
now,
okay. And it's okay to like repeat it one, two, or three times, but it's okay also to say, you know, wait, I need time. And that also happens when we get from one relationship to another relationship without going to that dreaming process. I always say that finishing a relationship is just like once you lose someone that is very close to you and you know you're not going to see again. You have to go through that grieving process so you can understand what happened, what you have to heal, what you have to let go so you do not repeat it in the next relationship. And of course the other person that is coming to your life do not have to pay for whatever that person did to you. So yeah, that's kind of my advice for my clients when I work with women that are going through that process of finishing a relationship. One of the major thing is that they finish a relationship today and in 3 weeks they're already in a new one or maybe less. And you're not going through that process. It's so important. Take time for yourself, take time for you, take time for that process of healing so you know that you're not going to be doing the same mistakes over and over again.
and you know, what I notice is the people that jump from relationship to relationship, it's just because they're not ready to stop and really heal that. Because the minute you're alone and
Mm-hmm.
you're in it and you feel that pain and you're like, I'm not going there, right? I'm not going there. I don't want to heal it. I don't want to deal with it. It's like what's the word? It's like a mechanism of coping mechanism, right? It's like their coping mechanism. Instead of actually looking inside and really healing it, I'm going to distract myself with this new relationship so I don't feel that pain. But the difference with what I do is you don't have to relive it really. It's more about finding it in the body. So it's not like you have to go through this. You know, yes, it's, you know, when we're in a session, yes, you might feel that pain and we'll heal it and clear it. But that's something that can take, you know, an hour, you know, one session, two sessions. But you've been carrying it for years. So instead of, you know, deciding that you're going to keep carrying it for another 30, 50 years, you can choose, you know, I'll take a few hours, you know, maybe 2 months and really take care of it so you can be free of it.
Yes, yes, it is true. So, what advice can you give to our audience? That last advice that you can give to us.
The best advice I can give to you is be you. We're so trying to fit into this, you know, standards of this reality. We cut so many pieces and parts of who we are, trying to uphold this imaginary standard,
Yep.
right? This imaginal perfect ideal. What, I don't know what that is, but we're trying so many things not to be who we are. And we need you to be you right now, because if you're trying to be somebody else, we're missing on your gifts. One of
Mm-hmm.
the biggest things for me is just being in your essence. Because the minute you're in your essence and your power and you're really activating from you, and you're not putting yourself down and you're not judging yourself and
Mm-hmm.
you're not cutting parts of you off, we're all going to benefit from that.
Yeah, true. Be yourself. I mean, hello, I got purple hair. I just love to be who I am.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't, they tell me, I don't know, what does that mean when you say that? Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really looking beyond, you know, beyond your traumas, beyond your fears,
Yep.
realizing that none of it really belongs to you. One of the biggest tools of access consciousness, it's one of the modalities I use, is who does it belong to? You know, when something comes up, ask yourself, who does it belong to? Is that judgment? When you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh, you know, my hair, whatever, is
Mm-hmm.
that yours? Or is it somebody else's voice in your head putting you down from, childhood? And just
Yeah,
return that to sender. So the biggest tool I can give you is, who does it belong to? Take the energy of that, return it to sender, and see if you feel even a little lighter,
yeah.
right? You realize it's not really yours.
Yeah, that's why I work also with clients, that we have to like get in touch with our inner child and talk to him and release all the things that maybe we heard when we were kids, because those are the things that we bring to our this stage of our life, and we think they're true, and they don't let us like move forward to accomplish what we can accomplish in this world. And you know what, I mean, people think like, oh, I'm going to do this like next year or maybe in 10 years. We don't know if you're going to be able to do that, because we don't know if you're going to be even alive. So we have to work like now and
No.
start living our life. I mean, full our life, doing what we want, how we want, what we love, and trying to just trust ourselves and just try to live the life that we really really want. So I mean, there's no tomorrow. It's today that we have to do that.
Yes, now is the time.
Now is
Definitely.
the
Now is the
time.
time.
So how can people contact you? Phone number or email or website? How it is?
So my business is called Morph Healing. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, all the places, YouTube. I live weekly Facebook Live that I do energy healing on, so people can get a taste. And yeah, morphhealing.com.
Anyway, here in the description of this video, not in this live channel, but just in the other ones, you can see the link. So you can click there and go and see what energy healing is all about and how it can make you change your life. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for saying yes to this interview.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for you. What an amazing creation you're creating in our world. It's
Thank you.
so needed. It's so needed. So I'm just so grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And all of you, I hope you can join us next Thursday with a special guest in this space of Being Power Woman, the talk show. Bye. Hi, I'm your host, Nancy Rivera from the program Being Power Woman, the talk show. Thank you for all the support that we have been receiving through our program. And thank you for supporting our special guest. If this is the first time that you have been watching our TV show, I invite you to go to the on demand service so that you can see our older episode and see that we have different topics from business, empowerment, grieving, parenthood, and much more. As you may know, our corporation is a nonprofit. That means that more than 80% of our services are for free. We are trying to help our community, survivors, our women's, kids, schools, and much more. It doesn't matter how much you can donate. The thing is that we're going to be grateful and we're going to be helping another life. So thank you for your support. And remember to join us every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time in our program, Being Power Woman, the talk show.